As Arsenal look to strengthen their title charge, Mikel Arteta wants early signings and Edu Gaspar is making moves. So today we'll discuss a new offer for Mykhaylo Mudryk, find out what David Ornstein has said about Joao Felix, discuss Premier League midfielders on our radar, and what message has been sent by Erling Haaland. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. The transfer window is nearly here. It's getting exciting. So my friends, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Help your boy on his road to 150,000 subscribers. But starting off with Arsenal's moves in the transfer market. The transfer window is nearly open and Arsenal need to make moves. And as David Ornstein says, Arsenal know they need to kick on in the transfer markets if they want to make the final push for the Premier League title / a top 4 finish, and the Cronkies are backing them to go and get the title, so let's see what they do in the market. But in terms of that investment, it needs to be as soon as possible, and as Mikel Arteta says, we want to sign players early in January as we did last summer. We cannot afford to get a player here that is not for us. We don't need a body, we just need players that make the team better, and we are aligned with Edu and the board. The summer transfer window is an example of what Arsenal need to do. Having got their business done early, signing Jesus, Zinchenko and co, Arsenal were able to make their best ever start in Premier League history. Arsenal have seen the effects of early signings, and central midfield is definitely an area to address. And in terms of targets, according to Corriere dello Sport, Arsenal's interest in Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is confirmed, and if they don't show up in January, they could do so in June. The player did reject Arsenal in the past, but now the project is more convincing and is being reconsidered. Milinkovic-Savic is a proper goal-scoring, attack-minded, box-to-box midfielder. His output for Lazio, his output in the Serie A for Lazio has been outstanding, but I want to see Arsenal sign players that want to play actively for the club. The prime example is Alexander Zinchenko. The way he celebrates the goals, the passion, the desire. It's not hard to see that he was an Arsenal fan even before he signed for the club. But let's talk midfielders in the Premier League. As Fabrizio Romano says, I think Youri Tielemans is one to watch, because in the summer, Arsenal arrived in the final days and tried to approach Leicester for Tielemans, and then they did the same with Aston Villa for Douglas Luiz. So Arsenal made a last-minute approach to sign Tielemans in the summer, which is definitely not a surprise because Arsenal definitely tried to sign him. They agreed the personal terms, the player wanted the move, but Leicester were holding out for too much money for Arsenal's liking. That being said, he's out of contract at the end of the season, so according to a reliable Belgian journalist in Sacha Tavaleri, Youri Tielemans is very close to being an Arsenal player in the summer of 2023. A reliable source in the past and a signing of Albert Sambi Lokonga, he knows what he's talking about, but in the case of Youri Tielemans, when a player of his quality, his caliber and Premier League experience is available potentially for free, it's almost a no-brainer for Arsenal to sign it. But as they are pushing for the Premier League title, with this being Leicester's last chance to cash in on Tielemans in January, what should Arsenal do? But keeping it in the Premier League, here is a more intriguing profile. Brighton's World Cup winning Alexis McAllister. According to reliable reports in Argentina, Arsenal do have interest alongside Chelsea and Atletico Madrid in signing Alexis McAllister. He's just turned 24 years of age and he was a standout player at the World Cup in a brand new role playing in midfield. His passing numbers are fantastic and he's able to control games. Having also scored 5 goals, he's got that goal scoring prowess. And as Mikel Arteta has shown in the past, he is willing to go to Brighton. The signing of Ben White is an example that Arsenal have established a relationship with Brighton and their owners. I just think in the case of Alexis McAllister, this is a transfer that I believe Arsenal fans should keep an eye on. Moving on to the wide forwards and our main target, Mykhaylo Mudryk. And this guy is on his knees to sign for us. He's openly liking photos on Instagram that are discussing rumours over his potential Arsenal move, and then going one step further and reposting Eddie Nketiah's goal on his official Instagram story. This guy is making it as obvious and as blatant as possible. He wants Arsenal and it's almost like he's putting out a public transfer request. But when Mikel Arteta was asked on Mudryk watching the Arsenal game, he says, I never speak of players that are not with us, but it's a good thing for England that you don't have many other games in other countries. The gaffer refuses to be drawn, but in terms of Arsenal, they are making their move. And Fabrizio Romano confirms that Arsenal have submitted a bid to sign Mykhaylo Mudryk. It's worth around 40 million euros plus 20 million euros in add-ons, but Shakhtar are looking for way more, and talks will take place with the player's agent to discuss about the deal, and there are no issues on the personal terms because Mudryk wants Arsenal. Arsenal. A pretty sizable first offer to make. A base fee of 40 million euros, but it goes up to 60 with add-ons. But according to Ben Jacobs, the first offer is short of Shakhtar's expectations, and it's more of a marker than a bid that they expect to be accepted. There is high confidence that a deal will get done, but it's all about the structure. Shakhtar are looking for a higher base fee. As is the case with most transfers, the first offer never gets accepted. But for Arsenal to even place a bid and be so aggressive before the window is even opened, it's a statement of intent. They want the player as soon as possible. But the Shakhtar Vice Director of Football has responded, and he says 60 million euros is not enough to sign Mudryk. And our director says that we need a bid closer to the Grealish fee and Antony to sell Mudryk. We are not even considering a bid with a 40 million euro fixed fee. 100 million pounds for Jack Grealish, around 80 million pounds for Antony, but Arsenal won't go anywhere near that. And as Fabrizio Romano says, Arsenal have a feeling that Shakhtar could maybe accept around 60 to 65 million euros, and it's all about finding the right package to include maybe some add-ons and to find a smart formula to sign Mudryk. Now Arsenal are trying to be clever, keeping the base fee as low as possible with add-ons that are based around the player's performance and incentivized. It gives Arsenal a safety net, but with the first bid being rejected, according to reports, Arsenal are now expected to return with an improved offer packed with incentives. Now the highest that I see Arsenal going up to is 65 million euros, and there are some questions on if Arsenal are overpaying, but personally I'm not too concerned because I trust upon the talent ID of Mykhaylo Mudryk, and this is exactly why. If you look into the most expensive deals that Arsenal have signed under Mykhaylo Mudryk, you've got Ben White, Thomas Partey, Jesus, Odegaard, Zinchenko, Fabio Vieira, Ramsdale and Gabriel. These guys know what they're doing, and most of those signings have been hits. And so for me, if Arsenal are willing to spend this sort of money for a player playing in Ukraine, it's because Mykhaylo Mudryk sees super potential. But in terms of completing a deal, a source has told Sky Sports News that there is cautious optimism that a deal can get done, with Arsenal thought to be encouraged by Mudryk's desire to join. That is what's going to get the transfer over the line. The player wants to move and he wants it badly. So once Arsenal's new offer lands, even if Shakhtar don't accept, I expect for the player to force through a transfer. But let's talk Joao Felix. According to reliable reports in Spain, Arsenal are leading the race to sign Felix from Atletico Madrid. The rumour is that his agent Jorge Mendes is trying to get him to the Premier League, and with Mendes having a very good relationship with Edu Gaspar, it gives Arsenal a very good chance of signing him. But having made their move for Mudryk, what does that mean for Joao Felix? According to David Ornstein, Arsenal are keen to get both Felix and Mudryk this window. Now the prospect of Felix and Mudryk, plus of course Saka and Martinelli, Jesus, Nketiah and co, that my friends is super exciting. And the reason why Arsenal can sign both of the players is because Felix is available on a loan transfer. So as David Ornstein confirms, Arsenal are keen to sign Joao Felix on loan from Atletico Madrid. He's been offered to a number of clubs, but at the moment the numbers are too high. The numbers would need to come down for a deal with Arsenal to happen. Atletico are looking for an £8 million loan fee and a salary paid in full, which is an expensive £250,000 a week, and it's something that Arsenal definitely can do alongside signing a Mudryk. And talking of finances, Arsenal's main competitors in this transfer in Man United are cash limited and are not even able to sign Felix on loan. So United can't afford it. Arsenal certainly can, but I'd also keep an eye on Chelsea, who with Todd Bowley are aggressive in the transfer market and have money to spend. There would not be a lot of risk involved in this transfer, where they could use Felix until the end of the season, see how he fits into the Arsenal team, and with there being no obligation if things didn't work out, you could always just send him back. But talking of Joao Felix, according to Kike Marin, Arteta has his doubts and he prefers another striker in La Liga, and there are some whispers of who that player could be, and we've talked about him in the past. That player is Barcelona's Ferran Torres, who used to play for Man City, has Premier League experience and looks like he's going to be available. Talk to me down below in the comments. If Arsenal are going to sign a forward alongside Mudryk, who should that player be? Moving on to the title race. Now Arsenal were 7 points clear after beating West Ham above Newcastle, 8 points clear of Man City, but those guys have responded, smashing Leeds United 3-1, and in the process they have moved back into second place, but are still 5 points behind Arsenal. Now they were a bit shaky towards the end, but in the first half they were fantastic, and Erling Haaland scoring 2 more goals. I think I'm right in saying he now has 20 league goals, and we're still in 2022. They will give Arsenal a massive chase, and Arsenal have some big games coming up. Brighton away is going to be tough, Newcastle home is even harder, and then you've got Spurs away, United at home. But if Arsenal can overcome these tests, all eyes turn to February the 15th. The most gargantuan game of the season awaits. Arsenal versus Manchester City. And as Erling Haaland has said, Arsenal, we have to hunt them. We have seen in the past they are able to go on 15 game winning runs, and these guys are relentless. But for Arsenal, if we're able to make the right signings, it will give the squad, the club and the fans a massive boost. The potential return of Gabriel Jesus, where are Arsenal going to be? And at the Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal have been so imperious. 7 wins out of 7, 21 points out of 21. The Emirates is going to be bouncing, it's going to be electric, and for Man City, they're going to have to respect us. Two very similar philosophies going head to head. That game may just be a Premier League title decider. Let's move on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with the future of Aaron Ramsdale, keeping 7 clean sheets so far this season. According to Gunner Blog, Aaron Ramsdale has begun discussions over revised terms to reflect his status as a number 1 goalkeeper. Arsenal are trying to secure the future of their number 1, and it makes a lot of sense why. When Ramsdale signed for Arsenal, he was not given massive wages, and at that time many Arsenal fans weren't convinced, but since then we have seen the profile of Ramsdale, his goalkeeping ability as well as his kicking, and you can understand straight away why he's so important to Mikel Arteta's system. Arsenal are trying to learn from previous mistakes, they are being proactive, and they are trying to avoid the contract dramas that we have seen in the past. So alongside Ramsdale, you also have Gabriel Martinelli, Saliba and Saka, whose contracts will also most likely be renewed. Martin Odegaard has been speaking about Mikel Arteta, and he says, every day I'm learning something new. There's so many details, body position, how to control the ball, and it helps us improve. He's not just telling everyone what to do, he's teaching us why. It helps the team to understand and to improve. The improvement of Martin Odegaard over the past year has been sensational. His impact is growing game by game, and I think fans are learning to appreciate what Odegaard offers more and more. His ability to control the final third. With 10 goals and assists in 14 appearances this season, the Arsenal captain is growing. And moving on to an icon, Arsene Wenger, who was at the game for Arsenal against West Ham, making his Emirates Stadium return. And here he is after the game with our star boy Bukayo Saka, one of many Arsenal players getting their photo with Arsene. It is things you love to see, and talking about things you love to see, according to reports, Arsenal are ready to build a statue of Arsene Wenger outside the Emirates Stadium potentially as early as 2023. And it's about time. This guy deserves it for the memories he gave us, the Invincibles, and making Arsenal this renowned name around the world. His beautiful football made so many people a fan of the club. We are seeing that impact to this day, as so many modern day players are fans of our club, and the prime example is our current target, Mykhaylo Mudryk. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all of today's latest Arsenal news, and as they make their first move for Mykhaylo Mudryk and maybe even Joao Felix, things are getting excited. So stay tuned, and I will see you next time. Take care and thanks.